Hello, everybody. Cedric and CJ here. CR Wrestling Commentary, New Japan Pro Wrestling, G1 Climax 31. And hey, you out there, podcast land or here on YouTube, you'll be definitely hearing it. Some people might want to download this and not download the epic size that it would be for YouTube. And we're going to go through these matches, not taking notes, just watch it, go on memory, and it's going to be what it is because we'll be here all day if I have to take notes.
Yes. It will be unending.
I will do notes for pay-per-views. I think that's fair.
I agree with that. Not for the G1. The G1's an undertaking as it is.
Yes, it is.
We're having a plan for this shit.
Yes, we are. So, our opening match is Takashi Yujiro with Peter versus Ibushi Kota.
And this just didn't go down like I expected.
Yeah, wait, was it P-I-E-T-E-R?
Yeah, I think so.
Cause I got E-I. Okay, I gotta switch it all. You know, for those that can see it, you know, on YouTube. So Peter. Just anyway. Fuck. Anyway, go ahead, girl.
This didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go because we haven't watched New Japan in a while because we basically got burned out. But last time we saw Yujiro, he was not doing well. He never did well. When Yujiro came out, you knew, it was gonna be a short match and he was gonna lose.
Upperclassman job guy.
That was it. His moves didn't look good and he was just going through the motions. That wasn't the case here.
And yet still lacking something.
He's still lacking something. I really think he can be a heel, but I think he needs a new persona. Nobody cares about the pimp juice.
No.
Nobody cares. It does not galvanize anybody. It does not make anybody want to cheer for him. It doesn't do any. Even him coming out in the scantily clad Peter with the huge stripper boots. They look at her. It does nothing for him.
Yeah, those platforms were so stupid.
They were absurd.
They look so stupid. They really do. It looks so stupid.
But she couldn't even stand straight in them. But that is neither here nor there. Even that aside, even though Yujiro is missing something, he wrestled a lot better than we've seen him wrestle in a while. He was more aggressive. He was more hard hitting, and the match looked competitive. The match between him and Kota Ibushi looked competitive. That's stunning in and of itself.
I'm gonna say this, all right. Seeing what he lacks, honestly, Takashi Yujiro, and everyone, I'm pronounce their names the way they do in Japan, just mainly out of respect, and I think it's really cool. For those that are new to listening to me even talk about this, we've covered a few G1 climaxes before.
I'm gonna say their name like we finna sit down and have some chicken together.
The thing that Takashi is missing is urgency.
Urgency.
He doesn't have urgency. That's one thing that gets a Japan audience right there in there with you.
Yeah.
You look like, oh man, I gotta get this done. I gotta get done in a hurry, and it helps build excitement. So that's what's going on there. And for this match, he was countering some major things like the triangle moonsault and things like that to the outside, and more aggressive to the outside. And that was really good.
And he did some convincing heel work. There's no point having this valet out on your arm if she's not going to do anything. And she did something this match.
What'd she do?
Oh, she was distracting the ref. She was out there. He looked at her and pointed. She went up to the ref and started doing her I'm sexy thing, in the ref's face. And she's like, right now almost a foot taller than the ref, so he couldn't see past her. He went over there and he struck Kota real good with the pimp stick and was choking him with it. It was good.
He also, got the nut shot on later, which was really good.
Pulled Kota off like the top rope down to the floor twice. He smacked his face on the apron.
Yep.
He wouldn't have done that to me.
And then he hit Pimp Juice, that kneeling DDT. Really, really good.
Really good, yeah.
I think he did good
It
there.
was solid.
And then, Kota kick out, because I was like, that should be it. And Kota kicks out, and I'm like, my first thought was, come on, dude. He ain't got anything better than that.
But he did.
Then he, basically, the elevated DDT, Edge's move that he kind of took from Cactus Jack, so he's got that.
Cactus Jack. Do you think he was at one point called Succulent Jack because cactus is a succulent?
Yeah.
It's a stretch, huh?
Granted, Cactus, he used the butterfly version of it, but people forget there was a point he used that one-handed elevated one for a little bit. People forget that. They don't even know. But I was like, I'm still trying to judge which one looked better, the kneeling or the elevated. And, I know like if it's elevated, come off the ground, should be hit harder. But it's about which one looked better and stronger in this match. And I'd rather go with the one that looks stronger. And the one that looked stronger was the kneeling leg swept DDT, because there was the leg swing from Yujiro, and then the DDT spiked, flipped over slowly. That just better effect than the elevated, which is crash, flip over. It just I don't know.
I can see what you're saying, but I can see what he's going for too. He being Yujiro.
You got your normal, then you got your elevated version. No pun intended, but your higher one. So I get that. I'm there with it. It's just for this match. That's why I use those words. This match.
Yeah.
It just seems like normal Pimp Juice was stronger than the other one. But hey, he won. Yujiro just needs urgency. He needs to. I'm trying to get this win. I'm trying to do this, because he has a going through the motion pace that he's got to kill that noise.
Yeah, he isn't the type of wrestler with the type of moves and the type of history to be going through to have that slow pace. You can be the great Muda and have a slow pace.
Yeah, and
you can be Sonata and have a slow pace, because Sonata could do no wrong. Sonata could just be standing there and he'd be all right.
Here you go.
What? But Yujiro is going to have to come up to that. I think that he needs to tighten up his middle. He looks a little bit doughy. And work on his urgency.
Yeah, he sort of let himself go from last we saw. But, we haven't been watching in a while, so we don't know what.
He might have had an injury or something.
Illness, or something, or hanging out with Fale doing those damn food challenges. I don't know. But yeah, he needs a new gimmick, because we all know that's Fale's woman, not unless something happened. But if something happened and it was with her and Takashi,
then they should both be meat paste.
Yeah, and since they're both alive,
then nothing probably happened.
So they should just go ahead and just say, look, we're going to do something else. Because we know she's not a trick, and we know he's not a pimp. So you can quit it.
Yeah.
In any case, we're going to keep going. We got more matches. Let's roll. Next match here, we got Tonga Loa versus Great Okan. And, Jado was out there. Jado, he got some tips.
He came up a little bit.
Came up, working out.
When they came back, last year, June 2020, you can tell he put some weight on. Like Ghetto, he was all slim and trim like a teenager. You could tell he was working out during the pandemic, but Jado must have been hanging out with Fale and mealing. You could see it around his middle.
It took a while before this match became competitive.
Yeah.
Tonga Loa, he likes those more Ishii-ish matches. That's his style.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a running gun style.
But you got to be with somebody in the ring with someone who can do that.
And he's trying to get that out of Great Okan, but it's just not his thing. That's not Great O'Con's thing, you know. And it's kind of cool to see him, seeing that, you know, he was a young lion and whatnot. We saw that.
We saw his first match. We saw the entire evolution of Oka.
And we thought he was good then, you know, his suplexes and whatnot. He done left that behind.
Yeah, he ain't doing no suplexing.
Yeah, I would have kept the suplexes and added stuff. That's what I would have done. But maybe you know, you just kind of like, I don't want to do these things because I had to do them.
That's all I could do.
So I would rather just do my own thing. Sort of like working in a restaurant. You don't want to eat from that restaurant after a while.
Yep.
Just any place but there. And so Tonga Loa, he just, how can I say this? He never really sells well, but he makes the match a bit more believable because he'll try to fight out of certain things. Like, for example, the Trio Woe spot that they did, you know, he was trying to pull himself out of that, trying to raise up. And
O'Con had to push him back down.
So stuff like little
put
things
some hurt
like,
on him.
Yeah, you know, little things like that. That means a lot to a wrestling match. Just little things like that can do so much. So, you know, Tonga Loa, he knows what he's doing. But I don't know what's going on, but I have to, you know, address the sublime elephant in the room, which is him coming out in the shirt that, you know, the EC3 shirt.
Control your narrative.
I'm like, you know? And now, Ring of Honor at this time, EC3 looks like he's in a transitional state.
Yeah.
Between face, heel, neutral, you know, in-ring company man, and then I'm going to do what I want to do. He's showing all of that, all inside of certain things, because there's points where, yeah, you know, the cheating, no, you don't need that. Hey, but I'll have no problem using a chair. Control your narrative, do what you think, be on your own, yet I kind of feel like I need to be part of a crew, but yet away from that crew. He's in this weird transitional state.
Yeah. And
so, you know, hey, it'll be what it is when it comes time to that. Great O'Con, I don't know. From how he was when we saw him in Rev Pro so long ago on his excursion, and then when he came back to join Will Ospreay,
yeah,
and then now seems like just three different people. So I don't know what's going on with him, you know. But the fact that he's in the G1 this early in his
career,
primary New Japan career, that I don't know. It took Chase Owens forever to get there. You know, he's been there for New Japan for quite a bit. You know, and some others that are being in there. It's like New Japan is like, okay, y'all, we done drain as much juice as we can out of the fourth generation. So, you know, we got to bump some people up. And I'm going to tell you this, the only one out of these two opening matches that has a chance of winning is Kota.
Yeah.
That's it. So everyone else you see in this will be exhibition only. Their points will be in that 4 to 8 range. That's about it. Not unless there's that many competitors, they might be able to get 6 and 10. But Yujiro has a chance that might bump him up to 8 to 12. They could do that. Lower, I can see him being about 6 to 8. And Great O'Con, not Great O'Con, it's Great O'Con is one thing. I could see him on this performance. I could see him at about, you know, I'll give him 6 to 10. I'll give him that, you know, that good mid-card level. So, you know, and it was an all right match. It just took him a while to get to the media parts where they started actually battling instead of just.
O'Con was just taking a whooping.
Yeah. You know, and Loa and Jado, they were healing it up. They were cheating.
Shit.
So I wish the crowd be like, if you're disliking something, stomp. if you're liking something, clap. You know, that'd be cool. Okan, they was clapping a lot for, trying to get him going and whatnot. So they were behind him because last I know he was a heel, and the way he was presenting himself, he wasn't that far from a heel, just no heel tactics. So, and like I said, we haven't seen this in a while, but yet this is New Japan, so not much really changes. You know, I'd like to say before ending this part that congratulations to Sho for joining Bullet Club, and yet I feel so bad for you joining Bullet Club because I don't know if you're on the A, B, or C team. And, you know, I'm sure they still got those 3 different teams there depending upon who's traveling and what. And it's a pandemic. I would think everyone should just get their asses where they need to be and stay. But Sho, as I said before, he should have been a Bullet Club member ages ago.
He seems to enjoy his heeldom.
And he's good at it. Real smooth with the corner, you know, buckle. You know, he's pretty cool outside the ring with that. That was about it. All I could think of.
Yeah, I think we got it covered.
You know, I guess it's time to see how they control their narrative. And we're going to control ours by moving on. So let's roll. All right. So next match is Yano Toru versus Kenta. And hold on. Before we get to this, because we didn't get a chance to... The last match, Great Khan, he won. It was the Iron Claw, like the 180 Iron Claw Slam. So that's how he won. We forgot to mention that. So with this, you was gonna say something. Go ahead, girl.
So you know, it's always gonna be some shit when Toru comes out, and we remember the last Toru Kenta match. They tried, but it was executed poorly. So, because it's Toru, you knew some fool ass stuff was gonna happen, and it started off with his intro. We're watching the Japanese commentary, and you know, usually they do the intro. You hear their name in the grand matter. They taunt, and you go on to the next competitor. He was talking with all these accolades for Toru. It seemed like about 2 minutes. And he was walking around the ring taunting and stuff, and you know, it went so long that I kind of tuned it out, and instead it was like he wasn't in the room. He was like, "What in the world?" And then by that time they got to Toru's actual name. So yeah, tomfoolery.
So Kenta comes out. He pulls out this big notepad, and he answers to the ring announcer. And then the ring announcer's like, "This? Really?" He's like, "Yeah. You sure?" "Yeah." So then he started rambling off all this stuff. I don't know what it was. I don't know what, but it got a pop out of Kenta. Kenta bust out laughing. They had to ring it in real quick because, you know, heel. And he kept going. Got a few pops from the crowd. And then, you know, the hype up at the end. And then announces Kenta. So, okay, at least Kenta knows what he wrote, where it should be, and be in the ring to ready to boast at the appropriate time. All right.
Then his music started to play after that, and Toru was mad.
He was mad.
Toru got a loud voice, so you could, and you know the Japanese audience is quiet, so you could hear him just complaining.
And then the ref is like, "Okay, you know, Toru's mad." He's like, "Okay, check me. Okay, good, go to him." And then, you know, Kenta's like, no. Check him. Mm-hmm. And so they go back and forth, and then they find stuff on Yano, and then they find stuff on Kenta, and then more stuff on Yano, and it's like, okay. And then the match begins, tomfoolery, running around the ring and stuff like that. And then a chase up the ramp where Kenta had some tape stored, 2 places, ties Yano to one of the posts up there at the entrance.
The scaffolding looking stuff.
Yeah, runs back and is you know, standing there with the ref, forcing him to count. And Yano gets free, gets back in the ring by like 16 or something. So he had room to spare, but you know, that run probably took it out of him. So the match goes on. You don't see any wrestling. There's like, you know, a few kicks, elbows. Yano gets the corner off as usual, like in record time, and catapults, you know, Kenta into it. So he does his thing, and My ear hurts. So then there's some more tomfoolery and trying to tie Yano up. Eventually gets him, throws him under the ring after knocking the ref down like a gut shot.
And then makes the ref start counting again. Stands him up, holding him up, making him count.
And the ref got hit in the guts, but he's holding his head. So, yeah, we got that.
And then while he's counting, Kenta hits him in the gut again, and then he holds his gut.
So, basically, hey, remember. And Yano, during the count, Yano gets into the ring and give him a nice rear ball shot. Roll him up. 1-2. Kenta, gets him with a ball shot. I think that's how that goes.
No, he didn't get one a ball shot. He tried something, and then he gets tricked knee by Toru.
Yeah. So he got it twice. Yeah, he got that Ric Flair special after just a straight up ball shot, and then Yano does his normal forward roll up into a pin, which is honestly that's really one of the most amazing things by Yano, that he does that forward forced roll up into a cradle. I love that. I really do.
But this time he didn't get the cradle. It's like he was just laying on the upper half
with the tape around his neck. Yano's wrist was still taped
of Kenta's body, and Kenta just couldn't kick out.
And there you go.
It wasn't interesting at all, but it was entertaining, as Toru usually is.
And then there you go. Yano Toru for the win. And, I'm going to tell you, Kenta, he's going to have about 8 to 10 points. Yano stands the chance to have 10 to 12 or 10 to 14.
He's stealing, man. He's still the craftiest.
So that's kind of, it's a thing. They can work with. We'll see how his other matches go, but, opening matches, for each one. Every singles match is an opening match until after everyone's had their first match. So it was good. It was all right. My squeaky chair. Brian Last ain't the only one, y'all. In any case, I thought it was a fun thing. It just, it is what it is. Just a comedy joke spot match. But we'll see how Yano progresses. Kenta, at least he got some of his moves in, but just enough.
Yeah.
So just a 2-star match, if anything. All right, well, let's roll. Okay, so next match is Naito Tetsuya versus Zack Sabre Jr.
And it was what we expected.
Down right to the letter. It was
good. Not to say something negative about it. No, it was good.
Except it's pretty much the same match that they always have, per se.
Except, Zack's a little sturdier. He done bulked up a little bit.
And there were some different counters. I like the Naito triple attack in the corner, which Zack rose up quick and put him in a cravat. Naito tried to roll out real quick, and Zack held on. Mm-hmm. So that was nice to see. Zack added some DDTs to his repertoire, which is good. And he also added new submission holds. We got this. Look, he messed up Naito's knees.
Yep.
As usual. Every match with Sabre, whether Naito wins or loses, his knees, lose a little bit of power.
Exactly. They die a little bit more inside.
You're going to end up he's going to have no shins later. You can just cut him off at the knees.
Yeah, and attach him to his ankles.
And it was good. It was a good match. It started off with a little chicanery, stealing each other's boast or whatnot. And it was what it was. It was good. The match was good, just more or less the same. You've seen them in so many of these damn matches in the past that the present is like too soon. And for us, New Japan Pro Wrestling, how can I say, ain't but so many people you want to see, and then you want to see them against certain people, but then you can only see that for so many times. How can we miss you if you don't go away? We miss New Japan Pro Wrestling, but then when you come back and you're having the exact same match, then there's nothing that has been missed.
It's just something we got to get through. I had to get through the Toru Kenta match. We had to get through this. And, Zach is stellar. He's polished. He tied Naito up differently than he ever has in the past, and got the same result.
Yeah, he had him in a Indian Deathlock octopus stretch combination, and then you put him in a combination with a Kimura, and he scored the win with it. Cause I'm like, you asked like, damn, what's Naito going to do? I said tap eventually, because
there's nothing else to do. He couldn't go nowhere. He couldn't get to the rope. He couldn't rock. He couldn't drag. Couldn't military crawl. All he could do there was holler and hurt. He had Naito tied up so much that he himself was in a split with his crotch spread open for the world to see.
Yep. Naito caught him with a Manhattan drop, or inverted atomic drop. It's the Manhattan drop. Caught him in the balls, and Zach was trying to acknowledge to the ref, my nuts. My nuts, man.
Ref, she was like, yeah, get up.
Yeah, ref like, I don't give a damn. It is what it is, bro. Get up. You know the sport. So, I'm not trying to just be down about it. But it is the same. It is the same. I'm glad that Zach has elevated his game plan, because all he had before was, he was pretty much the submission version of Will Ospreay, just leaping and leaping and leaping. He's like, well, I'll just go from one transitional submission hold to another, especially when they're legitimate moves that could tap somebody out. Zack Sabre Jr., I know he can do it, but he has a more World of Sports style submission style, where honestly he needs to adopt an American style where he can pick a body part and just waylay on it.
He did more of that in this match. He wasn't just submission, because he was leg tripping. He didn't chop block, but lots of drop kicks to the knee.
You're right. He did. It was just so much later in the match.
Yeah, it was just so much, and that's what I said. He likes to torture every part of your body possible, and then the one he is damaged the most based on your hobble or what you're holding on to, is this what he focuses on.
In CR Fire Pro, I had a team that was like Zack Sabre. They were Team Submit, Mr. and Mrs. Submit. They've gone on to have Mr. Submit. He's going by his real name, Rojava Azevedo. And that's how they were. They worked each of the body parts, but then later on in the match, they focal point onto a couple of things, and they do just nail it. Just gnaw on that one piece until the win, if possible. Zach, he's not limited to a video game, so he can do more in the beginning. He can do elbow drops to the knee. He can do a chop block or two, and a chop block should be a game-changing moment. Usually, that's what it's best used for. He could do, like I said, elbow drops to the knee, a knee drop to the knee. He had a nice double foot stomp.
Yeah, double foot stomp. That was nasty looking.
That looked brutal. So that was good. He could do more standing ankle locks. Just wait it out for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then elbow drop the leg if need be. He had an inverted shin breaker, which was ugh. So, and it was standing, so he didn't drop all the way down, because he would have injured Naito for real if he did it. So he's added a lot, and I'm happy about it. I just wish I wouldn't see it against Naito all the damn time.
Yeah, if he ain't got Naito screaming, then his life just ain't worth living.
And I know Zach has pretty much wrestled everybody here. It's just that when I come back to it, it's the same. So getting this out the way early is good, because even New Japan acknowledged, let's get this done now instead of later. Mm-hmm. Naito is somebody who's going to have 12 points or more. Sabre's going to have a minimum of 10.
Yeah.
So
it was funny. We were watching this. Our daughter said, "That's Naito. Doesn't look like himself." I say, "It looks different when he's screaming."
It was funny. It was funnier then, but I already heard it, so it's still funny. It's still funny though. It look different when you're screaming. Yeah. But hey, look, congratulations to Zack Sabre Jr. for the submission victory over Naito, but at the same time,
you kind of expected it.
Yeah, expected it. But still, I'm going to say congratulations to something else with Zack Sabre Jr. Something that Cedric had mentioned while we was watching it, which is when he got there, New Japan didn't know how to handle any of that.
They didn't know how to handle
it at all. They had to learn. And that's good. So that added That added some extra defense to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
It added some depth. It added some depth to the top three. The ones that had to learn was Sonata, who could do no wrong, Tanahashi, and Naito. They had to wrestle this man several times in order to be like, okay, I see what you're doing, and prepare. It looks more legitimate as opposed to falling for the same shit 4 matches in a row. No, you could tell there was, I've been watching you, so you don't fuck me up so bad.
And then the European clutch, that pin, that modified Japanese leg roll clutch that he put him in, Naito, he kicked out, but it seemed so late it should have been a 3 count. Mm-hmm. It really looked like it should have been a 3 count, but then I rationalized it in my head as in he was in the process of kicking out, so the ref had to stop the count. You know, the opponent could move, therefore he kicked out. That's how I rationalized it. So I don't go, what the fuck? That's pretty much it. You know, it wasn't a horrible match. It wasn't a bad match. Nope.
It wasn't an AEW match.
No. But, you know, we've seen it. We've seen this before. And I'm glad they got it out the way. You know, still they performed well, performed good. It looked brutal, so he kept your attention. But at the same time, you know how this story is. So that's why it's kind of like, But still, honestly, I would give him 4 stars on that.
And Naito, it looked like he was trying, because he put a lot of DDTs on Sabre, because we know that Sabre, I ain't gonna say he's got a weak neck, but his neck can be an issue. And the first time that his neck being an issue was exposed by Naito, that match Naito had his number. But he tried to put damage on his head and neck, but he could not put as much damage on his head and neck in the time allotted in comparison to what Zach put on his knees.
That was the other thing. I wasn't even going to mention it, but that was the other thing that kind of ruined the match for me. I still give it 4 stars from my opinion, but they buried the DDT. So many DDTs in this goddamn match, and not one could score a pin. Not one hurt the head so much that they go back and work on the head and neck area. I'm just saying, instead of burying the DDT, how about only use it when you're going to win or you should win? And they had that desperation last kick out. Don't bury the damn move.
Here's the thing with the DDT, and it sucks. The DDT has become just another move. Hulk Hogan used to finish folks with a leg drop. Ain't nobody getting pinned by no leg drop now. Nobody.
Now, first of all, when Hogan was doing that leg drop, I thought it was some booty ass shit when I was a little kid. I was like, how you lose to that? You know, yeah. That's what I thought. It's a damn leg drop. I mean, I've seen them done before, but no. Even as a kid, I'm like, what?
Just like you told me back in the day, the drop kick was a finishing maneuver.
And that could make sense. If somebody drop kick you in your goddamn sternum and fuck you up.
Yeah, because Red Titus is doing it very well with his.
Yeah, but they killed it now.
It's been killed.
Yep, it's not a finisher anymore. They killed it. They already buried it.
So I just think that this is one of those moves that has progressed into just a regular move unless somebody does it beautifully. Unfortunately.
It's not going to be as awesome as Beulah McGillicuddy back in the day, that one time she did it, but still, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. In any case, you know, we're going to get to the next, would it be the last match?
No, it's an hour left.
Yeah, we got 2 matches. Oh, well. Let's roll, y'all. Main event time, everybody. Main event time, New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 31. Ishii Tomohiro versus Takaaki Shingo. Look. You're not going to be disappointed.
No.
You can't be disappointed.
Not with
It's the same match. It's the same brutal, hard-hitting, knuckle-dragging, grunting, bone-on-bone, head-butting, body-busting match. But you just can't be bored with it. Mm-hmm. It's impossible to be bored with it. Because as much as, okay, look, I'm going to be straight up. The match started off, they throwing some weak, fake-looking elbows at each other. And they spill it to the outside. They have some good spots on the outside. get back in the ring. They doing it up. They have a good long battling match, and then they start turning it up. I would give this match, I would have given it 5. I can only give it 4.5 to maybe 4.9. And Cedra probably knows exactly why. It was the failed spot in the corner. It's bad enough, Takagi, he landed an avalanche vertical suplex. Mm-hmm. And as she said, like, it took him forever to hit the match. Mm-hmm. Hit the match. And they both sold like really good. Ishii really sold it. Might have been real, honestly. Takagi gets the cover. There's a kick out, but hey, Takagi don't even get up from that. Like, the kick out hurt Takagi. And then later, Ishii tries to get a little payback by his own superplex, but it just failed in the corner.
His arm gave out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what.
It was after that DDT. It's like his nerve got pinched or something.
And that right shoulder that always gets in trouble. And so, look, they could have just moved on, but Ishii is stubborn.
Yes, he's like, I'm gonna get my shit.
I'm gonna get this move.
And so they worked at it.
Punched his shoulder and he put Takagi up on the top rope and he got it done.
Yep. Almost to his own detriment. So then, they move on back and forth. There's a lot of back and forth exchanges in this. Mm-hmm. A lot of slamming lariats. I talk about slamming on the mat. They slammed their arm into each other. Good grief. And then when they finally turned that heat up and they went through everything, now it's time to rebuild. That's what leads up to a 5-star match. They start to rebuild. They start to go for them sliding lariats, sliding elbows, or Dangan elbows, whichever you want to call them. They going for them. They're hitting them, trying to get the pin. They coming off those ropes, shoulder tackles, elbows, all that stuff. Ishii and Takagi with their variation of the strike chop in the corner. Ishii with the elbow chop. You got Takagi with the punch chop, and then
no, he didn't do punch chop. He did.
I thought Takagi
chop. Normally he does punch chop. But he did elbow chop just like Ishii did. And then
but he turned into punches.
Then he just started punching him in the head.
I thought I saw him doing the punch chop instead of just the. Okay, so he probably did both. I saw because at the end, like Cedar was saying, he started just punching him in the head, and I'm like, ref. The punches, ref. And then there was a part where the ref, Ishii collapsed. No, one of them collapsed on Red Shoes, Shingo. Mm-hmm. It collapsed on the ref, and Red Shoes got up, kind of shaking his head, like, what in the world? But he also looked like, what the fuck just happened? He had that body language, like, what the fuck was that? And what I said was, nobody better run in. And she was like, they ain't gonna run in on Ishii unless they're gonna get hurt. Which is true. And then all of a sudden, when it got real, they started, they came off those ropes together. This is when the match turns up. They hype up, come off those ropes, and slam them lariats in each other's chests. It is loud. Mm-hmm. It echoes through the arena.
Sweat goes flying everywhere.
They are stunned. That is when the match turned up. That is when they went to the final foot, and they went to headbutting each other and punching each other and elbowing, and it was epic. It was short, blistering exchanges of variation, and one of those headbutts, Takagi just used it and went right into Last of the Dragon and got the 1, 2, 3, and he wins. And here's the thing. I said in the beginning, not in the beginning, but about halfway through, I said Ishii needs to win this match. And as opposed to what I said in the beginning. In the beginning, I was like, well, champion's coming out, going against Ishii, champion's going to win. Takagi and Ishii's had battles, wars over the never open weight championship. Even in tag team action, they go at it. Not as heavy because it's tag team, but they would go at it. It's been a long time since we watched some New Japan, and yet nothing has changed. And this is one of those cases where the nothing changes is a great thing. It was good. I enjoyed this main event. Great.
I knew I was going to enjoy this main event.
If Ishii had won, it would have opened the door for surprise. It would open the door for, man, you know, who's going to win next? Takagi's not invincible. You know, it's G1. You want to win it. But this is one reason why I say you don't put your champions in these round robin or any tournament. The only like for CR Fire Pro, the only time a champion's in the tournament is the current one going, which is the faction leader tournament. Because if a faction leader happen to have the belt, then they in the tournament. It's, you know, that's just how it's going to go. But they always put their damn champion in these tournaments, and I think it's stupid.
I do too.
It's stupid. The champion can only lose 3 times maximum in the tournament. That's it. 3. On average, 2. And when they have that office pen and paper champion it factor, once. It has to be very selective who that one is. So right now, Takagi done beat Ishii. You know what that tells me? He done beat the only one person that should beat him. So everyone else is going to be a cakewalk. You go through this with Ishii, everyone else is a cakewalk.
The only person that might give him a little problem is Kota. And that's it.
Yeah, he's former champion, ain't he?
Yeah.
He was a transitional champion. Going on duration, that is, not, you know, he probably defended 2 or 3 times. But they're champions, the ones that they love, the ones that they say, you are it, you are the flagship of this company. They're going to keep it for a year or 2. They're going to keep it for a while, which makes sense. But they don't have any new competition. It's the same people, same ones. You know, damn, man, I can at least say for CR Fire Pro, the roster don't change, but the challenges are always different. Whoever climbs that ladder and get to the top. And this, it's going to be the same, 3, 4 people throughout the year? That shit gets boring. And then whoever new wins it going to defend against the same 3 or 4 people from that year. It's just, you know, I understand people got a job, they just want to wrestle and they do all that. I get that, but man, I would be like, this is boring. You know, and truth be told, there's 2 reasons why I'm watching this. 2 reasons. Number 1, numero uno, reason why I'm watching this, because All Net Zonta requested it. That's why we're doing this. All right? And the second reason, Tama Tonga's in it. That's it. I love Takagi. I love Ishii. I love them. But I'm watching for Tama Tonga.
Because he ain't been in 3 years?
Yeah. And after he made his decree on how boring it is with the same people, with the same outcomes, yada, 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 nothing changes, and how boring it is, and no matter how boring it is, he's still going to bring it 110%.
Yeah.
But they punished him after that. New Japan Pro Wrestling punished him.
For 10 months, a year?
Yes. They severely jacked him up. So, yeah, don't talk bad against, you know, the wrestling god, you know, the owner or owners of New Japan. Don't talk about how their bookings suck. Don't tell them the truth, because they don't want that. They just need to do they just need to know whatever they do is right, no matter what. And it ain't changed.
Be positive, no matter how stupid it is.
Yep. Man, y'all screwed me over. But you know what? I'll try harder next time. Thank you for fucking me up. No, this right here, I'll give it though. This event was good. Normally these are the heavy hitters that come in at the end.
Yeah.
And they want to get these out the way. So it does give you some surprise. Makes you want to know how they're going to do this thing. And I'm curious about that too. You know, later tonight, I think they'll be starting the day 2. And, you know, I'm like, well, yeah, you know, it'll be day 2, but we'll be asleep.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
We're gonna do it tomorrow. They the ones that got to wrestle. We just got to watch and talk.
Yeah.
We can muster through that. We just got to be able to stay awake. And me with whatever's going on with my ear, these huge, massive bumps in my ear that's making it, I can't chew. It hurts a lot. You know, can't really blow my nose. It hurts a lot. And I got a runny nose. I think I can get through this. I think I can do this. You know, I'm working with them. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing this with me and for and with Cedra.
We doing it, man.
We doing this together, all of us. You listening and whatnot. You gonna hear this. If you're on YouTube watching this, you get the benefit of seeing the colors on the screen. You know, the stuff moving, but you pretty much minimize it, do something else while listening. Those on podcasts that's listening on Spreaker or something like that, I humbly thank you the most. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm broke as a joke. Seriously, we are messed up. So the ad rolls, all you gotta do is just listen to them and keep listening to us, and that's really all it is. No sweat off your back, right? And the link to that is down in the description of each video I'm gonna do. So I would really appreciate it if you wanted to, listen there on Spreaker and comment. Listen here and comment or whatnot. But I would really appreciate if you listen to this on Spreaker. That's just, not asking any money from you, just time, patience, energy, chill factor, sit down, do what you do, listen to the ad rolls, listen to this, if there are any ad rolls, I don't know. But we're doing this. We got another match we got to watch. Because I promised, Zemo that I would, and I'm going to. Whether I got to do it by myself, it don't matter. But this is going to happen. And thank you for signing up for Discord, Zemo. I don't know how often you're going to be there, but even if you don't see my name with the green light on it, trust me, I'm there. I'm going to be there. So with that said, if you got anything to add?
Nope.
So with that said, this has been Cedric and Caesar for CR Wrestling Commentary. New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 31, Day 1. Thank you for listening. See you next time.